Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry we haven't been on a lot. I've been not feeling good. Under the weather. Got that kidney infection again. On a lot. I've been not feeling good. Under the weather. I'm bringing my YouTube back up.
Do you have your YouTube canceled, turned off?
I'm not even in it.
Okay. I wonder what was that going. I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Hey, Janet P. And Darlene Lisa.
Hello.
So today is going to be an interesting day. Kathy and I are going to pull on Putin for the next 2 weeks. We'll do it in two phases, of course. Hello, Tara living with Manassa. Hello, dear. How are you? So again, we're going to be reading on Putin, and we're going to do a week out, then 2 weeks out, just to kind of get a vibe. I mean, I know Kathy had already done a month projection of him, but it's already old, and she never got a chance to post it out because she was feeling under the weather, and I was not feeling all that hot. I think we're both going through that low grade cycle right now, low energy vibrations. It's really sending us through the roof in a way, and not in a good way, just putting us down to want to rest. But we are here today to let you know we are not dead. We are still kicking.
And unfortunately, Dean and I work really closely together because we do a lot of practice working and meditation and stuff like that behind the scenes. So I think we're extremely tied together. So when I started feeling awful, he started getting symptoms.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Dean. But that sort of happens when you connect energetically with people and work so closely.
So we're pulling for his first week, right? First 7 days?
Yeah, we're pulling for the next 7 days. So it's through the 7th. The first through the 7th. So we won't count today.
Through the 7th. Okay. Spirit of Most High, please. And Spirit Guides. All that's holy. Please allow me to go. And what is his energy like? Behaviors. Show me whatever would you like to show and reveal. Behaviors, impulses, intentions for the next 7 days. April 1st through April 7th.
This is rather interesting. And we're throwing different layouts too, just
to see what we're gonna get.
So we're doing our own layouts.
Let's see. Let me get some light on this. So, okay, I have a lot of wands on this. I don't know what you have, Kathy, but I have a ton of wands. So there's a ton of movement, a lot of fire, a lot of proof. Whenever I think of wands, I think of somebody either good or bad, always wanting to have something to prove. Okay,
and what mix? I
actually,
but the wands I have are not good wands.
Okay, so I do have a lot of wands. Okay, and the underlying card is on the bottom of my deck. It's the Three of Wands, which is established. This is a new deck I'm using, and the Three of Wands, they're calling that established strength. Okay, and typically with the Three of Wands, you're thinking your ships are going to come in. You're hopeful that you're going to move forward or towards something, which this makes sense with what I got on my table here, because he does have a lot of wands. So it's telling a story. So we're going to start at the beginning, right? So within the next 7 days, right now, in the next 7 days, he actually feels like he has something to prove. He feels like he's in control. He's he's self-assured, has that valor, that distinction. But I honestly think with the way things are, I think that's just a false mindset of himself. Like that's like he's like he it's almost like he's not completely logged in.
He's not.
And it sounds like he just feels like I'm in control. I'm standing tall and proud. But in reality, I honestly think that those wands that are projecting towards him, those are the naysayers. Those are, again, like I always say with this, the naysayers, the people that are opposing him, the people that are not in support of him are like, what are you doing? And it's overshadowed by the swiftness of the Eight of Wands. So again, he's moving towards a direction. I don't see where the end is specifically per se, but he's moving towards. He has a set goal in mind, but it's not really. I don't really see it here in the week that I have. It's 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 he's moving towards his end goal, and it's like I said, the goal is for his ship to come in for him to make all his dreams come true. But what's opposing him is victory. This is not on his side. There's no way that he can be victorious with valor, as this suggests, if this is opposing him. This is opposing him. He can't be like that knight on his steed, like showing up like I'm.
And I got the negative.
Yeah, it's very
I got
pompous.
that negative victory card was my first card out.
And on the surface, mind you, on the surface with this, it's all about strife. And this is the five of wands. And there's a lot of conflict around, and usually when I see the wands, it's usually the people that are close to him, like his leaders that are help that should be like in his, like what we would call a cabinet, like hit the official political figures around him. There, everybody has different opinions. Nobody's running is on the same page. Everybody has their own agenda, and nobody's talking to each other because there's no swords. Nobody's talking to each other. Everybody has their own mindsets on what's going on, and that's pretty bad when you have a political figure such as himself, but there's no pinnacles around him. There's no blending here. There's no wands. There's no, I mean, there's only wands. There's only fire. There's all that tension. Nothing really water to calm it down, to kind of like oppose it, to like settle it. There's no coins or pinnacles um to help, to share charity or help. And there's no swords for logic or mindset or communication. So that is on the surface. It's like everything is working against each other. I do above him, he feels like he's a knight on a steed again, and he has it as the Knight of Cups, which is weird. He sees himself as he's like this military leader, but a Knight of Cups, which, if you know me and been with me for a while, you know the Knight of Cups is usually represented by a Romeo, somebody that is in search for their love, their or the love of something, either material, an object, or the idea of having something. Ooh, why did I say that, Kathy? That's weird. I've always think it's like the love of somebody, or this could be either his ego he's in love with,
I was going to
or
say
this
the
is
love
in
of
love with,
self.
or he's in love with the idea of having something he can't have. So very, very, very weird. Okay. He feels like he's carrying the past and the present. He feels like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. He feels like he's carrying all of his victories, his unsuccessful wins, his losses, everything is on his back. And he's like, I'm doing this. I can be victorious. But in reality, it's like It's weird. It goes back. It recycles back to the ace again, which I don't see how this is possible. The only way this is possible if this is in the reverse. Like there's nothing coming, and unless there's
What are you
new
feeling on that? What are you feeling on the card versus what the card represents?
honestly, I feel like it's new energy coming in.
Well, I think you're probably right. There is some new energy coming
I
in.
feel like there's new energy coming in because there's a halo effect over the wand. I don't typically try to read cards negative. I give the benefit of the doubt and try to read things as positive as much as possible to
But
put
since
that
you're
good.
not reading reversals in that deck,
Yeah. So I feel like there's some positive energy coming through, or there's some type of energy coming through, and that's probably another reason why I do have the Three of Wands.
and I heard
It's
today he has a plan. He has a new scheme coming up, and that'll be our third question after the 2 week
okay.
reading.
So that is what I got for the first 7 days out. What did you get, Kathy?
Okay. The underlying card of the reading is going to be the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is his is representing his fortune in this action that he's taking right now. He's on a downward swing. He's planned this for a very, very long time, but what he didn't know was what he wasn't told. The money he's invested into his army was stolen and not put in. His army wasn't prepared. He underestimated the Ukrainian people, etc., etc. The first card out in the reading I get is the Six of Wands in reverse. And this is so far he's being defeated by the Ukrainians. This is his he has not taken any victories. He hasn't really um captured any particular area strong enough to hold anything. I mean, if your biggest hold in Ukraine is the nuclear power plant, which Chernobyl, which is lethal. Wow, that's not much of a victory. Um, the next card I get for him, this reading is reflecting in the beginning his failures. He's taken this big leap forward, moving quickly and swiftly, but underestimating everything coming that he's running towards. He really did not have this strategically thought out. He did not have his good intel. He did not have people telling him the truth of where they were setting, but yet they allowed him to take this action. Of course, I had no way of stopping him because you can't tell the man no. Um, with the Six of Cups, this is him in despair. Um, this would normally be the right side up. It's nostalgia. That's what his hopes were. But now he's not seeing that nostalgia. He's not seeing that come to fruition. He's trying to contemplate, what do I do? What do I do next? Where am I going? And he's saying, aha, though, because I can rise up above this. I can change it. So he still thinks he's got a power. He still thinks he's got the manipulative tool to change this. But he's moving forward very swiftly on the Chariot in reverse. What the Chariot in reverse means in this deck is that he can't trust those around him. He's always looking behind him. Are they with me? Are they against me? Are they fighting with me? Are they fighting against me? He's constantly looking over his shoulder, over his back. He can't even trust the people around him right now. Nobody's telling him the truth, and he's afraid he's going to actually be killed. Um, he can't even trust, his own cook. He's fired his cook. He's gotten rid of people all around him. He doesn't know who to trust at this point in time. But he's contemplating new ideas with the Magician. He's manifesting getting a better handle on this. So he's been thinking this through. What do I need to do to get this turned around? And I did hear news today that he has been doing that. He's got the Hangman in the upright position. This is him taking a clearer perspective on what's really happened so far, what's gone on. His army's turning against their own people. The number of losses of lives, etc. He has got to get some strength in there and somebody to come in behind him and fight. Um, he's extremely burdened right now with this 10 of wands upright. He's carrying a full load. He's falling apart basically. He doesn't know who to trust. He's trying to come up with ideas and plans. And as the page of wand upright, he's thinking this through. He's delivering some messages of, aha, I've come up with an idea. This is how I'm going to charge forward. But it's going to cost him a lot of monies. With the Four of Pentacles in reverse, this is he can't hold on to what he's got. He has got to spend money and invest in this. Now, what I read in the news today is that he has declared that there will be 148,000 people drafted into his new army, and they will be sent for training to Belarus. And we are going to read on that after we read on week 2 of how that's going to go, considering that chances are he's going to be pulling in the youth. The youth are media savvy. They have connections. They understand what's going on. They're the ones that are fighting out in the street in protest. So that should be an interesting read. I did throw some clarifying cards to see where this energy was going for this week based on the bottom of the deck. Underneath that Wheel of Fortune, the flavor that's falling under this week's reading is he's the Five of Cups. He's in constant turmoil. He doesn't know what to do. He's indecisive. Everything's going against him. He is still living in the devil's energy. That greed, that avarice, that overtaking, that overpowering. He's still envisioning himself as the emperor. He thinks he can still win. He thinks he's got the upper hand and can do this. But what he's going to discover is he's really the King of Wands in reverse. He's going to lose. He doesn't have the knowledge, the strength, the backing, the power, or the cooperation of his people to do this, to pull this off. And what they're seeing, his people are seeing, is they're being left out in the cold. They're the ones that lose ultimately. They're the ones in despair, impoverished, starving, lacking. So right now, this is what the people are starting to feel is as this not a war is doing to them, is it's leaving them in a very bad situation. So let's see where the energy goes for the 8th through the 14th with Putin. And if you've already thrown that, you can go ahead and start.
I got some interesting stuff for the 8th through the 14th. Enough to where I had to pull clarifiers because I'm like, my guides told me to use my new deck, and I would normally use the Tarot of Opposition because I will read reversals in that.
You should reverse that deck.
This deck, well, we'll just read it as it is because I don't read reversals typically unless it feels like it needs to be a reversal. So the underlying card for the base deck, right, is the King of Wands, right? And for some reason, I feel like this is new energy coming through. Okay, because I have a lot of masculine energy going on here. So, go ahead.
I laughed.
Oh well, I do. Even in the card,
energy, that moon man.
No, because you'll see why. Because there's certain cards here that normally don't have males in. It has males representing them. Okay. For example, for the second 7 days of the month, I have. It feels like all this energy is all about materialism, materialistic, greediness, because for him, he has the Four of Pentacles. That's just, and this is depicted as earthly power, it says. And I'm like, that's only fitting that he would get earthly power with the Four of Pentacles, only because he wants that control, right? It's always like I've always said, it's like a game of Risk to him. And what it's saying is he's that type of person is spending outside his means to fund something that there's no funding for. He's he's breaking his country apart. The money that he has isn't worth anything now. What did you get on that? The last, did you hear anything about what his rubles are worth now, Kathy?
Oh, they're as far as I know, they're worth less than a cent. They're
Yeah.
like a
So
fraction of a cent.
again, it's like he's spending what he doesn't have. I feel like he's even trying to go outside his means and borrowing from others, but they're not trying to get involved.
Oh, he
It's like,
has a lot of money that's outside of rubles. He's got money all over the world. He has access. It's just will people sell to him?
I think no. I feel no on that. But that's just me. We haven't asked that question yet, and it doesn't really look like it's coming up in the spread here. But I do have this feeling like he's living outside of his means. He's cashing checks his butt can't cash or support or fund because his bank is busted. Okay, I have the what's overshadowing him is the loss of pleasure with the 5 of Cups. So he's at the tail end. With this hope, fear, depression, worry. It's like I almost think he's afraid of his own shadow because you're sulking. Like he's like I said, he felt like he was on top of the world because the first 7 days he was like, I'm victorious. I'm a leader. I'm going to persevere. Then for some reason during like the next 7 days, it took a turn for like, I'm like, what the hell happened here? Because it's like all full of himself to like now reality hit. So I feel like some reality is going to hit between the 8th and the 14th of April for him. That's going to really send a shock to him to where he's going to feel kind of like go within and being depressed to some extent. And what's opposing him is his material happiness, because again, the material happiness with the 9 of Cups, right? He's not going to be able to fund anything. He's broke. His country's literally broke, and nobody's going to want to do business with him. And he's going to be like that greedy merchant trying to collect. But he's not. I don't see him getting anything. On the surface, let me see, what does it say? It's written in a weird font. Where I have on the surface, it's all about family with the 10 of Cups, and this is suggests in the writing it says perfect success and perfected success, which this is still where he feels like this is what he's gonna have, his family, he's gonna have his kingdom, his domain. So he still has that hope that he's holding on to, but in reality, the Hierophant sits above him, which tells me that this is like a godly source, the wise teacher, the angelic force that's above him, which is rightfully so, is orchestrating things behind the scenes, I feel like. And I feel that way even because spirit is represented with the bird there. There's something above him, overshadowing him, that's orchestrating something behind the scenes. And like the Knight of Cups still turned up again in this. So past to present, he does turn up again. Like I could still be victorious somehow. A knight on his steed, chasing after the love of his passions, his sense of wanting to go out to do battle. But I honestly think this is Putin almost, because this night kept coming up twice. He feels this way, but this is not a night that's all about attack. And because you would think that would be the 2 nights you would think that are going to be prone to do something, make something happen, are the Knight of Wands, then the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Wands is going to be, I'm going to blow some shit up, and the Knight of Swords is going to be, okay, now how do we fix this now? I don't get that. So I get him as the Knight of Cups, trying to still search for his love, like, I guess world controllers. I don't know, whatever is in his mind. And it ends off with the Emperor that you so mentioned just a minute ago, Kathy. The Emperor. Yes, the Emperor did show up. So I did ask for some clarifiers for his future. But again, I got the Seven of Wands again. Like, he's being tested. He's unsure of himself. He's not in balance, as this card would suggest. He's out of whack with his mind. He has goals that he's never going to be able to achieve. His creative side is not there. His mindset, his determination, his passions are not grounded. They're not even properly manifested. And his heart source, his love, his energy of abundance and love, it's not even there. It's out of whack. So I have the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands with the Seven of Wands on that. And for my clarifier deck, I also have the Ten of Swords on the bottom of my deck. So that's telling me that he's walking away. It's almost like he's being pushed out. And I honestly think it's being pushed out by that Ace of Wands that felt in the first 7 days. It's being pushed out by this King of Wands. That's the king you want to be in control, followed by the King of Swords. He has no strength. So that is what I'm getting for the 8th through the 14th. What do you get, Kathy?
Well, I think he's moving forward with recruiting and training new soldiers by forcing people to join the service and sending the Belarus to fight. He's the underlying card of the reading is he is in a major tower moment. The tower is burning up. It's negative. It's falling apart. It's on fire. And he's trying to build a new foundation. He's trying to redirect that energy to make it something more positive. And that's the upright tower. That's not the tower in reverse. That's the upright tower. So he's in a tower moment right now. He's extremely stressed out with the Nine of Swords pointing at his head. I also feel like he's having some mental issues. He's not clear in thinking. He's really much struggling. He can't trust anybody, because the Swords is a trust card. He can't trust those around him. He can't even trust his own thoughts, really. He's questioning everything. He has a strength in reverse. This is the loss of power and embarrassment. He's being seen publicly worldwide as weak, and that's very distraughting to him. He's feeling like he's being left out in the cold. Nobody's coming forward to really help him. So he's going to manipulate that help. And what he's doing is he's going to the Queen of Cups. This is this more subservient queen. This is the president of Belarus. He's going over there. He's going to send his troops there and get them trained. Now, unfortunately, I'm feeling like this whole feat is going to backfire on him, because as he's recruiting unwilling participants to become his new army, they're media savvy. They know what's really going on because they've seen it. They've heard from outsiders. They have access to the internet. It's not like the old Russians that have gone through World War I, World War II, a lifetime under the KGB and all the other heavy regimes. These ones are more tech savvy. They're more in touch with the world, and they're against this war. But if they're recruited, they'll do what they have to, because it's a death penalty. If they don't, they'll literally shoot them. And I don't think Putin would hesitate to kill his own people if they weren't cooperative. I mean, or kill his own people around him. He'll kill civilians. Putin's sitting in this Nine of Wands in the negative energy. Everything's just falling apart, out of control for him. He doesn't have a good, clear position on exactly what he's going to do. But this is his idea. He's relying on that King of Wands. Um, and this is also, when I looked the card up, this is also a representation of the president of Belarus. He's going to be there to support him in what he needs. He's manipulating him into cooperating with him. This is the only person on the face of the earth right now that has anything to offer Putin to help him out in this war. Now, he's not going to be getting his people involved, but he will be providing him with weapons, arms, a place to train his military, and help getting those military personnel trained. Putin's still feeling very much out in the cold. He is getting some help, but he's not trusting it yet. Putin it has the shadow of the moon on him, and I think the shadow also is representing his health. That moon face he carries, all the shadow stuff behind him, all the problems he's having. Oh my God. Oh shit. My husband's truck just came on a flatbed. Okay. Excuse me 1 minute. I think my husband's been in a car accident. Hold on. I'm going to put myself on pause.
Did you want to end the show here, Kathy? I can't hear because you.
I'll be right back. I just need to see what happened. The truck doesn't look totaled, so I saw the front end of the truck, so that's a good thing. I just need to find out what happened.
Okay. So while we wait, we were reading on. If you just joined us, we're reading on Putin for the next 14 days from April 1st to April 14th, and we just got through reading the second week of Putin. Kathy has other questions written down, so I'll wait till Kathy gets back.
Not my husband, the next door neighbor. Silver truck, not white. Gave me a heart attack. I went, he smiles at me when I open the door. He goes, "It's okay." I'm like, "Oh, I thought it was my husband's." He's going, "Nope, it's mine." Like, oh gosh. I would think my husband would call me if he got in an accident, but you never know.
So did you finish your reading for Putin?
No, I didn't. I have 2 more.
So go at it.
That scared me. You guys don't know how much. Anyways, the moon. That's Putin in his shadows. I'm just getting my energy grounded really quick. Thank you. Putin has a 5 of swords in reverse. 5 of swords is infighting. I think this is mental infighting. I think this is infighting with his nation. He's in a losing battle in this because he's not getting the support of his people in this action. He's not getting the support of his oligarchs in this action. Not only is the world against him, but his own world is against him. But he's going to strive forward is that page of wands. He thinks he knows what he's doing. He thinks he has the knowledge. This is a naive page. This page just thinks he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't have that much control. And he's young and he's immature and he's not thinking this through. I get this is going to get him tied up. This is the underlying cards. I think it's his oligarchs that are starting to plot against him. They're going to tie him up. They're going to take him out. They're going to take him out of power. They have no choice. They're scheming right now. I got these cards and they were all oligarch cards because they can't afford to lose everything. This king is taking them down, and they're losing everything. Their finances are tied up. They've got their hands tied. They're losing their fancy lifestyles. So I think that is where that energy is going. Putin's losing it, and I think he thinks he's got strength by drafting a bunch of young people in to fight this war. So my next question is, with all these new recruits and trainees, Is this going to flip on him? Are they going to do just like the first troops that were sent in blindly? Are they going to go in ill prepared? Are they going to go in laying down their weapons? They don't want to fight. These are the people that have been protesting on the streets.
So the question is, what is the current state of his new
Of
troops?
these new recruits, these new soldiers that he'll be sending forward, that he's training to send forward, his replacement army, so to speak. Will they be effective, willing to fight?
I'm hearing no.
I'm hearing no also.
Actually, I think they're going to be more aggressively saying it than the others, because the younger people, I feel like it's like it, like they that they're fearless. Like no.
I wonder if they're going to turn on the ones that are there actually fighting. Oh, weird. Oh, weird.
Whoa, that's weird. Okay. Well, I feel like they're going to take his options away, or they're not going to give him any options. I feel like they're going to take the power back, and they're going to hold him accountable. I think this is going to be the force that's going to be opposed. That's going to rightfully oppose him and hold him accountable. Called it. Yeah, because remember how I told you, Kathy, how I felt like there's a new energy coming through, and I told you I thought that there was a king involved, a king of wands that was going to, or like fire, something of fire was going to be that new energy that was coming through, right? Look, the future, he's there. The king of wands returned again. See that, Kathy? The king of wands came back up in the future. So, okay, oh my gosh, I can't make this up. Kathy, the underlying message, the bottom card on my deck is the Ace of Wands, that new energy I'm telling you. So, okay, let's just read
really
this.
Interesting.
So, what these new troops are going to do, they're actually going to really buckle down, hone down.
You got that ace.
Uh-huh. And look, I got Lady Justice right here too. What's above them?
I got Justice, and I got Justice with the Ace of Swords together.
I don't have the Ace of Swords, but I have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands.
Yeah,
the Ace of Wands was that new energy.
And that I was told that's Ukraine.
So this is that new energy that's coming through. I don't exactly know who this is, but except, yeah, this is the younger troops that he was training, that new energy. Because they're gonna go back in and they're gonna go within like the hermit, and really like, what the hell is going on? I'm not trying to get into this war. He's gonna kill me if I don't do this, or I risk losing my life for participating in it. So either way, I lose. I'd rather lose and stand up and stand by my own convictions and mindset. So yes, they're going to go within. They're going to strategically plan what their next move. They're going to overshadow with the abundance. The Three of Cups is overshadowing them, which is celebrating, uniting. So they're going within. They're going to come to a common ground. Okay, and they're going to take. This is what's opposing them, the Four of Cups. Okay, they're this energy right here, right? And this is Putin, right? He's seeing, that's what they're opposing. They're opposing him. They're rejecting what he's giving them. Okay, on the surface, they're taking control over their country again, because I have the Ace of Pentacles. This Ace of Pentacles is all about sustaining life. It's all about that light force, that energy that gives life. Remember, the pentacles are all about giving you what you need to support yourself, all your needs for your health, your your supports, your structures, your infrastructures, your insurance, your love, anything, the clothes on your back, anything you need to sustain life, all your needs, not necessarily your wants, but your needs to sustain life. That is what this represents. So they're they're taking control over their country again. They're holding those who oppose them. They're rising up, holding those accountable that oppose them legally. They're strategic in the sense they plan before they act. This is the past to present. They're going to plan. This goes with the hermit. They're going to plan ahead to be victorious and take control. And why? Because the card that overshadows them, the underlying card in the deck is the Ace of Wands, which is that new energy, like I said. So that is what I got. Kathy, what did you get?
It's very interesting. And when I threw the cards, my guys were very dominant on how I read these cards. They said, first, these are the soldiers that are going under the Queen of Swords reversed to be trained, and they're not liking it. They don't want to go to war. They're so against this war. They're against everything it represents. The next card that they're getting is the Two of Swords in reverse. They see nothing but bloodshed, harm, killing. It's against their moral standing. This isn't a decision of theirs. This is a bad choice. But they're talking amongst themselves, I hear. And they've decided what they're going to do and how they're going to handle it is as they march into Ukraine, they're walking away from the motherland, Russia. They are willingly walking away. And the stars are shining on their decision. They see that they have no option. And they want to be right with the universe. They want to live in the love, in the peace. And they believe in the Ukrainian people, and they believe the Ukrainian people have a right to fight for what is theirs. And what they'll be doing is, with the Two of Cups, they're going to join partnerships with Ukraine, and they're actually going to fight against what Russian soldiers are still left there. They're going to actually change sides. So thank you, Russia, for sending Ukraine a backup army, because you couldn't have picked a better selection of people that are against this war than your own people. And I see that not all of them. There will be some that will fight. There'll be a few, Kool-Aid drinkers. But the majority of them, the majority of them are for the Ukrainian people. That's their family, their relatives, their grandmothers, their cousins. Ukrainian used to be part of Russia. All of them have relatives there. It's the difference between East Germany and West Germany. When they put the wall up, it did not make them different people. North and South Korea, it did not make them different people. They still have relatives on the suppressed side. And that's the way these people are looking. They believe that they have the right to have their freedoms, and they believe that they have a right to run their own country and be separate from Russia. And they don't like the way they're living in Russia. They get the Seven of Cups. This is that illusion, delusion. That's Putin. He's drunk with that illusion, delusion. He's going to get these guys to go in and fight for him and win. And all it's going to do is it's going to cost Putin a lot of money, a lot of loss. And his money's already worth nothing anyways. So it's just going to cost him more and more and more. But Putin thinks he's that Queen of Wands. He still thinks he knows what he's doing. He's got that power, but it's not working. Because I see the Ukrainian people uniting with the Russian soldiers coming in, and they're bringing them hope. They're bringing them prosperity. They're going to help them move forward through this war and take control of their own country and allow them to have arms and power against Putin. This is going to totally backfire on him. And here Putin is with that celebration in reverse. It's all going to fall apart. He's just an emotional wreck. The underlying card of that reading is the Ace of Wands in reverse. This is a lack of knowledge, a lack of control, a lack of.
I like how you read that card. You know, that version of that card, I always see that as a struggle, like a tug of war.
Yeah, with him, it's a lack. It's a lack of the knowledge, the power, the control. Justice is moving forward. And this army that he's training is moving in the light of truth. They're wielding the sword of truth. And they're going to fight for the truth. And their truth is not Putin's truth. It's they're walking in the light. And they're moving forward in the light. Putin's living his fate. He's got the wheel of fortune in reversed again. This is karmic destiny. This is the fall of Putin. And this is the rise of the Knight of Pentacles, the slow-moving knight. This is Zelensky moving forward in strength, power, and control. He will take his country back, and he'll have the strength and power of the world behind him, helping him rebuild it. So I am seeing this going, honestly, see this going out of control for Putin. It's going to last more than 2 weeks. This is just the beginning of that process. It's not the end. This is going to go on for several months, maybe even through the end of the fall. But I think by Christmas time, I think Ukraine will be celebrating a very bright, beautiful, snowy Christmas, reuniting family, rebuilding their country, getting help from all over the world. I think that this will resolve through the summer months. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a lot of work. I can't wait to hear reports that the new Ukrainian army is moving forward. They take out some of the equipment, etc., and then the men lay their arms down. They say, "Hey," put yellow tape on their uniforms and say, "We're fighting for you." I think it'll be a beautiful thing, and I really do see a lot of them doing it. And they will kill their own offenders, the ones that do not want to join them in the rise to peace for the Ukrainian people. I do see a lot of these people will defect to Ukraine and become Ukrainian citizens. In the end, they will not return to Russia. They have nothing to lose. And they understand that this freedom, this democracy is so important. And when they do return to Russia, Russia will not be the country that they left off in war in. So I do think that there is going to be a huge shift in time. I'm just getting this information from my guides. They're going, yes, yes, yes. It will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. This is going to happen over a decade. We'll have one bad leader come behind Putin. He won't be as bad as Putin, but he will still be part of the old KGB, and then he will be voted out and replaced by a more democratic, more liberal type person that starts moving the country towards a more democratic, which doesn't happen overnight, but turning more for the people, in support of the people, creating jobs, rebuilding Russia, looking at making Russia a strong country again, democratically, though, not under an autocracy or a chromocracy. They're going to have to get control of their country to become part of the world again. And I think NATO is going to rise up and make some really dominant stands on world peace in the future. And that's going to take about a decade to ride out and get straightened out, but it will happen. I think this will be the end of wars of all wars. Don't be surprised if it doesn't turn into World War III before it's over and that everybody doesn't get involved. I have been seeing that happening. I think Poland is going to get fired on. I keep on seeing explosions across the border.
Do you want to read on that real quick?
We can, yeah. And I hear other readers going back and forth on that issue. I keep on visually seeing explosions,
Okay, well, let's see. Let's
so
see
I
it.
hope I'm wrong because I'm seeing that innocent people are hit. They're not hitting any major things. They're hitting refugees. It's sort of, the nastiness of Putin. So will Poland be hit by Russia?
Oh, Russia attacked Poland.
Russia attacked Poland. Russia.
During this time. Yes. Um,
I'm hearing yes.
Ooh, it's looking like it. Ooh.
Oh, it's going to cost Putin.
But it's going to bring a lot of healing in this.
It's going to get NATO involved. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I like the outcome.
Okay, I'm going to throw some more cards on there.
Underlying card of this reading is the Two of Wands. This is bad decisions, and that's what I'm seeing. This is going to be a bad decision on Putin's part. It starts out with the Seven of Swords in reverse. I'm seeing this as yes, this is the attack. This is the mistake he makes. He does attack Poland, and it's going to backfire on him. Putin thinks he's moving forward as a naive Page of Swords. He's being naive about this getting him control. What this is going to do is this is going to cost him. This is going to cost him dearly. And why it's going to cost him dearly is because this is going to trigger the world to step in and get involved. And this is what he doesn't need because he doesn't have the strength or the force, even with all these new recruits that he thinks he's going to get. China's not going to back him. Belarus is not putting up soldiers right now. I think they'll step back actually because they don't want to destroy their own country. And I think the president of Belarus is just a puppet, and he's scared not only of Putin, but he's scared of the world. This is going to be a big tower moment when everybody gets involved. Big tower moment. I do not see nuclear destruction, though. There will not be any nuclear bombs. Putin's not stupid enough to go there. Our people will be guided in taking a swift, fast action to get this under control. We're not going to let this go on for years and years and years. It's going to be swift, precise. I think they're already planning it out, to tell you the truth. They have every strategic move. They've looked at this over and over again. If we must get involved, exactly what will we do and how will we do it? And it's a constant. I think it's a constant meeting. They are planning that day by day by day. I see the Seven of Pentacles. This is the world coming forward. This is the world coming forward and establishing and manifesting what direction this needs to go to make it right. Where it's going to leave Putin, it's going to leave him with the Five of Swords in reverse. Defeated. Totally defeated. He's going to have the Three of Swords in reverse. Heartbroken, helpless, caged up, isolated, depressed. He gets the Four of Swords in reverse. He's not even going to be able to rest on his own coffin and contemplate his situation. They're taking him out. They're taking him down. not us, his own people. The people with him will capture him and take him down. We don't need to do that. I don't see him being assassinated. I see him being removed. They may turn him over to NATO for war crimes. I don't know, but it won't be NATO that captures him, assassinates him, or anything. They won't go that far. But the final card for Putin is the Six of Wands in reverse. This is loss, great, great loss. He will not be victorious in this. This is losing at all costs. So, yeah, this is not going to go well for him. And honestly, I don't even think he's going to the table with any kind of legitimate form of negotiations.
Maybe, maybe. Because I do have swords here, so maybe, maybe. Did you get anything else, Kathy?
That's it.
That's it.
I think
Okay, it's all about okay, what the basis of this, what's the underlying card on the bottom of my deck? I have the trickster, the thief of the night. I have the seven of swords, right? So I don't know why. What do you know the story of why he wanted to attack Poland? What was the
he wants
whole?
to take over all of the Eastern Bloc countries that were originally part of the USSR. His
Okay,
ultimate big picture goal is to become the czar of the whole continent of Eastern
okay,
European bloc.
okay. This is starting to make a little bit more sense now. Okay, so it's all about greed. It's all about I'm going to take back what was once ours. It's all about that greed, that hunger, that need to steal, to take something that doesn't really belong to him, that somebody that phased out and transitioned out away and became their own countries. So I feel that that's what that's about. The thief in the night. Okay, at the center of my reading, I have the see. This is the Nine of Pentacles, right? This is the matriarch gain. What's this material gain? Oh, material gain. I'm sorry, material gains. So he sees this as something that, like something as material, like he can gain. If he gains control of that, that's more land, that's more people, that's more control, that's more funding, that's more everything for him, right? So I want to say he's tried with negotiations. He's what's overshadowing it is the King of Swords. There was some negotiations, but I don't think anybody's really listening or buying what he's selling, or vice versa, because what's opposing them is the Knight of Swords, which is truth. There's nothing truth. There's no truth there. They're not buying what he's selling, and vice versa. They're not seeing eye to eye. They're not agreeing to one another. They're at opposition of each other. On the surface, there's going to be movement towards either attacking them, or movement towards even or negotiations, movement towards like forcing their hand, their will, their presence on them. But I don't know if they're going to really like attack, because above them is judgment. So whatever fiendish, devilish, schemish thing he will do to the Polish, it's gonna he's gonna have to pay that back and then some. They're gonna unleash their fury, I think, because with the judgment, that's Michael there holding you accountable for all the good, the bad, the ugly, right? That's that. I'm come here to kind of collect on like your good deeds and hold you accountable for your bad deeds. There's something hidden not being shown by the surface yet, or this could represent dreams, falsehoods, illusions, delusions, secrets, the unknown. What I like about the moon is I know that the sun will always appear to shine. The sun will always appear to shine the truth and reflect the light on what is not cannot be seen. So there's things that are not we don't really know. I didn't pull clarifiers. I might pull some clarifiers on it to figure out what the past and present has entail for that moon. But the future looks bright because it's going to bring people together. It's going to open the pathways of communications, resolving some heartburn feeling possibly with the Two of Cups. And the future, let's look at the overall future. Um, the overall view of this is the Two of Wands. So if they haven't planned anything yet, they are in that planning cycle on both ends on how to respond if there is an attack, and vice versa. They're looking at possibly attacking or possibly going in and doing more negotiations. For like environment wise, it's I got the Hierophant. So this is people with knowledge. People from knowledge on both ends are giving their officials again the lay of the land. What's good, bad, and the ugly on both ends. What the hopes and fears, this can go either way with the world feeling connected, having all four quadrants of the world at his access, or um, all those areas, that hope of that being connected as one united country again, or this is the everybody else opposing Russia feeling like they have the connections with everybody else. So it can go either way. I could see this either way on both ends. And the final outcome, the Emperor. I don't know why, but I feel like this is NATO involvement. I don't know why I feel that so, but either way, NATO's going to be involved, either to help negotiate maybe a peace treaty between the two of them, or to hold Russia accountable. I
Yeah,
don't really see anybody attacking, but there's definitely movement towards that idea.
I
I'm
think
going
a
to pull
peace
some.
treaty between him and NATO is uh, uh, that NATO gets involved with is not going to give Russia a whole lot of.
But I'm going to pull some clarifiers on this moon to figure out what this is. Okay, Spirit of Most High.
When
Okay.
you're doing that, I want to make a comment. Yeah,
Okay.
Sharon Lee from Strawberry Rhubarb said Poland was never part of the USSR. She is correct. Poland was taken over by Russia in 1980, and they were under Russian rule till 1991, where they broke free from the rule of Russia and became independent again, out from under the rule of the communist regime of Russia. But those people have vowed never to go back under Russian rule, and I think Ukraine watched all that happen, and we're very familiar with what was going on during that period of time,
Huh.
and have also gave them those people strength to fight for their own and fight for their democracy. And I think Poland is very much in support of Ukraine holding on to that because they understand exactly where they're coming from. So yes, thank you, Sharon, for the education because you are right, but it's the fact that they actually stepped in and took control of Poland for such a long time during the at the end of the Cold War. And they did invade. And if anybody that watches Violetta wants to hear about the atrocities of what she grew up with after the Cold War, um, and her childhood, she talks about it frequently, living under Russian regime, and was not a fun thing to do. But they survived it, and her family, much of her family, fled Poland because of it, um, and live all over the world now.
So I did pull three cards on this moon, and it's interesting. So the things that we're not seeing, things that are hidden, I have what's underlining is bringing that healing. I feel like with the Ace of Pentacles, that healing to support necessary to provide the necessary care, help, health, education, even to the people. They're to provide the care, basic care for them, their needs, to support whatever happens. For and the 3 cards I did get was the 8 of Wands. So there's movement towards balance, healing, stability, and new opportunities with the world. So it's really positive. The things that are hidden are positive. But that's what I got.
Yeah, I do want to say a couple things. There are many readers out there that have fundraisers going on, such as Becca, Johnny, and Jinlin on their program. They have a continuous fundraiser going on to donate money towards people in Ukraine for food or animals or something. Whimsy has one going on. I believe Linda D also has a fundraiser tab set up. I'm not sure about Celtic Sheila. My guess is she probably has one too. I don't know. Check some of the major readers that have. I know you have to have 10,000 plus subscribers to get those fundraiser keys set up so that you can do all your donations towards them. I highly encourage, if you don't personally find a website to donate through, go to one of those ones to donate whatever you can afford, even if it's just a few dollars. Every dollar helps to bring peace to animals and to the people and bring them food and medical supplies and things that they need. If we had a donation button that we could give through, I'd have it set up in a minute and be encouraging everybody to donate. So just wanted to mention that. Also, you can Google different fundraising organizations that are giving money to Ukraine. There's a lot of them out there. The ones that the readers are using through the YouTube, I know those particular readers, they have well researched it. They're making sure that their funds that are going where they need to go, and they take very minimal administrative costs. So 50% of the money that you donate is not going to the administration of the fund. It's going to the majority of it's going to the people with very minimal amount for the administration of the fund. Thanks to all of you that do take the time to go to those channels and donate. I highly encourage it. I want to send a special thanks out for Vivienne posting that this is for entertainment purposes only. And also for joining us today, because I know this is a really hard subject. I've backed away a lot from politic reading because I'm a psychic dreamer. And what happens is I astral project. I go to the Ukraine every night. It's daytime there, at nighttime here, and I don't get a lot of sleep. When the phosphorus bombs went off that were reported the next morning, I had woke up that night on fire. I was covered soaking wet. I ended up having to take a shower and wash, and my eyes burned for a week. Then I got sick. But I remember Dean talking to Dean the next morning. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, this is what happened." And I said, and then I turned the news on and I saw the report, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that you could get affected by astrally projecting." And being in that, I was affected residually. So, I'm not getting a lot of sleep right now because I don't know how to stop the dreaming. I've even done like 24/7 meditation recordings to not dream, to avoid dreaming. But as soon as it clicks off, because the phone turns itself off after so long, or it dies, even plugged in, the dreams start and I end up over there. So that's not helping me any. So I try to stay out of the news. I try not to watch too much. When I turn the news on and I see what I dreamt about the day before, it's really disheartening, because I was there watching the bombing, the killing, and it's a lot worse than the news is showing, unfortunately. I do say blessings and prayers, and I surround each individual person in Ukraine with light and strength. I call in all the archangels to protect everybody in the country of Ukraine, put a shield around the country to protect them. And, you know, just constantly send them light. Every time they pop in your head, you think about them, send them light. They need all the protection in the world right now, and they need the strength of the collective to help them. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. These are very difficult readings for both Dean and I. We talked about it for a while before we came on because we're both having really low energy days. I knew once I got reading, I would feel better because I knew the cards were going to come out more positive than negative. It's very sad to see us go through these times, and hopefully this will be the last time anybody in our world has to go through anything like this. Hopefully we can get our shit together as a world and find a way to live in peace and in harmony. I hope this is the beginning. This is the end of all these hard times and the beginning of much better times. I think as a collective energy, that's something we can constantly pray for and make happen. So, excuse me. Blessings to everybody. Oh, I just want to let everybody know I did get a surgery date. It is set for May 19th. 2 months from now, but I am on a waiting list for any cancellations, and I'm the first one on the waiting list for cancellations. So hopefully I'll get in sooner. I got really lucky. The first surgery I was in 2 weeks. So they do get cancellations for these kind of surgeries. But, we're hoping, and I want to send blessings to everybody. Dean and I will be back tomorrow for some mini personal readings.
And we're going to probably keep it at an hour too, I think.
I'm starting to feel better.
No, I said let's keep our personal readings to an hour. Knock them out. First come, first serve, and done.
Yeah. And we can just, we'll be on it probably 8 o'clock tomorrow, Central Time, which is 6 o'clock East Pacific Time.
Actually, you know what? I kind of like the whole 8:15. You like the
8:15 works really great. Yeah. So 6:15, 7:15, 8:15, 9:15. We'll keep that schedule, keep it to an hour. We will set a notifier up about an hour ahead of time or sooner if we can. In fact, maybe we'll get that set up tonight. So it's up there and it'll post. Come in early, get your name on the list. We'll start at the top of the list as you come in. In an hour, you can usually do 10 to 12 quick readings. So we'll be doing the 3-card draws. Of course, if you want to donate a $5 donation, we'll get you bumped right to the top with a question. And
many blessings.
About your class. Your class. Tell them about your.
Oh, my class. I just had a brain fart. I was thinking we were about ready to go off the air. So yes, I've been doing a new series called Living in Your Grace. It's all about taking a deeper dive and digging into yourself and how to show yourself kindness. That was the very first lesson that I had went over. And it's all about journaling. It's all self-paced. Focus on yourself, maybe 5-10 minutes a day. And then it's all progressive. I always encourage you to go back to the last lesson and to go forward in the next lesson. The last week we talked about knowing your why and understanding your why and incorporating kindness into that. And last week we talked about
this week, you mean?
Oh yeah, this week, I'm sorry. We talked about manifesting and doing affirmations as part of that next step to move forward. So yeah, every Monday at 8:30, it's on. I post the new weekly lesson, and every Sunday at 8:30, I do a weekly follow-up. And these both programs will either be live or pre-recorded because I want to honor your
your time in your personal space.
Yeah, your personal space, but I will share what I did. Okay, so that's for me to be transparent with you. If you want to share along the way, you can when we're live, or if you want to send me an email how it's working for you, that's great. Or you can put it in the comments because I get notified of all comments that come through to the shows, and the shows are really going really, really well. And there's 52 lessons, and we just finished. We're going to be finishing up on lesson 3 this week. So that's what that's about.
It's really fun. I'm doing it, and the best thing about it, it's journaling, but it's not like sit down and write for an hour and contemplate and dive deep and open wounds. It's
Oh,
it's fast. It's easy. It's like take 10 minutes of me time to reflect, and it's quick and easy. And you do a little bit every day rather than sit down for hours and dive deep into yourself. And you'd be surprised what comes up in 5-10 minutes. It's actually quite reflective. And as you do this each day, you think a little deeper because it pops into your head and you have more to say to yourself. And it's just a few lines each day, simple, easy. It's not homework.
yes.
It's self-care. It's a form of self-care, and it's I think it's a really good program. So
Well, thank you. And there's going to be more programs in the works. I'm just going to get this one done, see how this one works, and then I might pull from another deck that I have about setting some daily mantras, and I might do that for a weekly mantra or something. I don't know. There's more to come.
it's to
There's
have
more to
fun
come.
with. It's definitely to have fun with and get to know yourself and where you stand with yourself. So
Yes. So I do want to say thanks for Aspie Third Eye, Viviani, Snow Wolf, my Strawberry Shortcakes, Spirit Beyond the Stars. We also had, I
Third Eye
thought we had Miss
Aspie,
May, uh,
Snow.
Aspie Third Eye, Deb Z. We also had Janet P. And I thought we had Snow Wolf, Sharon Side, Greeter.
Weird.
And we had Tara Living with Manasa, Darlene Lisa, Janet P. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will see you all back tomorrow.
Yes.
So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you know when we go on. Bye, everybody.
You come in early to get on the list tomorrow if you want the free mini readings. Blessings and have a good evening.